Pro-Ana is making a comeback. The tradwife aesthetic is everywhere, and wealthy women are competing to have the most visible cosmetic work. These aren't separate trends. They're manifestations of increasing obsession with body discipline. And as you know, the body is one of the biggest battlegrounds of food politics. So let's get into it. History has shown us that as authoritarianism rises, women's bodies come under scrutiny. Mussolini conscripted women into fitness programs. Nazi Germany awarded those who bore 4 or more children. And today, women in Iran can be imprisoned for not covering up enough, while in France, they can be punished for covering up too much. Either way, the message is clear. Your body belongs to the state, not you. But modern authoritarians don't just rule through overt state control. They manufacture consent by getting people to see their own oppression as natural and even desirable. Enter tradwives. They're glamorous no matter what they're doing, financially dependent, and constantly pregnant. Pregnancy is super important to the movement, not just because it adds the right kind of people, but also because it strips away a lot of women's bodily autonomy. It's one of the most vulnerable states a woman can be in. But of course, having kids isn't the state's only interest in women. There's also how that body looks. Feminist scholars have long argued our cultural obsession with female thinness is not about health or even beauty, but obedience. Notice that tradwives aren't just always pregnant. They're also impossibly thin throughout. So if you're a viewer being bombarded by this kind of lifestyle content, but you can't access their wealth, can't afford so many kids, or maybe you're single, what you can do is get thin. By design, thinness is the one aspect of the tradwife aesthetic that is accessible to everyday women. And it's working. Between 2018 and 2022, eating disorders amongst young people in the US surged by over 100%. This isn't random. Research shows that eating disorders tend to spike during rapid social and economic transformation. So while yes, eating disorders are classified as a mental illness, we're doing them a huge disservice when we don't name the political system in which they emerge. Now, if eating disorders are the layperson's response to the weight of rising fascism, the emergence of rich face marks those who are immune to such pressures, even if they're actually responding to the same social demands of youth and beauty and thinness. Look at celebs like Kris Jenner or Lauren Sanchez, who now flaunt the surgeries that women once vehemently denied. This visible rich face is the sign that you're wealthy enough, you'll be protected no matter what political party comes into power. And it's true. The current wealth gap in the US is worse than it was in the 1920s. Social mobility has all but collapsed, so why bother to pretend they're like us? So while these 3 expressions may seem very different, they're all responses to our global shift towards authoritarianism. And each of them makes a false promise that if women can just control their bodies in the right way, they can control their lives.